It's Thursday night in the A. You know what that means. Kelly Price and Tori McElhaney is coming at you on Rise Up Tonight, presented by AT&T.
So I've got good news and I've got bad news. Bad news is, like the vibes, everything kind of going on that we sat on for a whole extra long week. Yeah. Good news is Falcons are still 6-5. They're 21-14 all time in post-bye games. So there's a fun stat for you.
Okay, so what you're telling us is there's a reason to be optimistic.
I feel like there's always a reason to be optimistic, yeah. Right. What I will promise is that everyone always feels their best after a little time off. We can attest to that for sure. But the last time out was Atlanta's most lopsided loss since 2021. And just the second time this season, the Falcons fell by double digits. The other, Week 7 against the Seahawks, a game to which there are a concerning number of parallels. Let's huddle up about it.
Let's huddle up with Kelly and Tori on the world of Falcons football.
We've heard Raheem Morris proclaim this game won't define us. The problem is he's said it at a few post-game press conference podiums at this point. And some of the issues that are kind of coming up are becoming their identity at this point. This offense continues to stall out when it matters most in the red zone, on third downs, and shooting themselves in the foot with drive-killing penalties. And if I had a penny for every time the Falcons offense didn't score a touchdown in an entire game this season, I'd have 2 pennies, which isn't a lot, but it's weird it's happened twice. Ditto for seeing Michael Penix Jr. in a game in mop-up time in a lopsided loss. How can they find their way through these recurring problems to become the playoff team they have looked like at times, and they still want to be, Tori?
Yeah, so offensively, I think changes need to begin and end with those red zone penalties. The more you look back at games, the more you see those penalties being the real problem. I don't think there's anything consistently wrong with play calling, scheme, and even the execution, honestly, within plays themselves. It's those penalties. When you look back at the most recent losses, there is a direct correlation between the penalties mounting in the red zone and a stalling offense. Those penalties have a direct impact on how we feel right now about this offense. That changes if the penalties go away. I guarantee it.
Another persisting problem, this pass rush. Even the lone sack this week by Matthew Judon was a bit of a technicality if we're being real about it, but that wasn't the only issue that led to Bo Nix and company amassing 400 total yards of offense. Atlanta allowed 199 yards after catches, the most all season. The second most, 165 the week before in that New Orleans loss. There are some troubling trends kind of in the opposite direction you want to see with this defense, and I'm wondering if this defense is maybe even regressing, Tori.
Yeah, so this defense, man, okay, it's a bit of a tougher nut to crack than the offense. If I'm being honest, Kelly, I don't know how to fix this pass rush. I don't think it's something that will change overnight, or in this case, after a week off. At the end of the day, guys just aren't winning up front, and when that happens, a secondary can only do so much. It's why the Falcons are last in the league in opponent completion percentage. Opposing QBs are completing over 70% of their passes against the Falcons this year. That's why it feels like quarterbacks like Bo Nix are picking this defense apart. It's because they kind of are, especially right now.
So with the precarious division lead, 6 games to play, the 6-5 Falcons are in a very interesting spot right now, because on paper, when the schedule came out last spring, you saw the season ending with the Panthers, Commanders, Giants, Raiders, and Vikings, and maybe even the Chargers, and you're like, all right, that's kind of a favorable way to end the year. But now, that's looking more like a heart-racing hike up a mountain than a walk in the park, even though you've put yourself in a good spot, only having lost 1 division game with just 1 more division game to go.
Yeah, so I don't think anyone expected the Commanders or Vikings to be the teams they are in 2024 when that schedule first came out. What started as a Falcon-friendly second half stretch has turned into more of a question mark, to Kelly's point, especially considering how the Falcons have shown up, or let's be honest, not shown up in the last 2 times out. If they play like they did up in Denver, any and all of those teams you just named can and will take advantage. Heck, even Carolina took the Chiefs to the bitter end.
Right.
The good news for the Falcons, though, is that they do hold the tiebreaker over Tampa Bay. So they really have to do what they've said all along was their goal, which was outrun the South. Well, to get to the postseason, that's true. They have to stay 1 step ahead of the Bucs.
And the Bucs have a pretty favorable schedule moving forward, too. Well, what we can all be thankful for on this Turkey Day are some pregame slays from last week's game. We're walking in, presented by Wells Fargo. And this week, we're thankful for 3 all-reliables in this segment. Of course, you knew Justin Simmons was going to show out in his return to Denver. Though this pattern and color scheme giving 'tis the season, I think I like the rest of this defense, he's going to go back to the lab, maybe cook up something better for the next game. Not his best work, in my opinion, but Would like the record to state the coffee cup that always seems to have more sky miles than me has made it to the Mile High City.
Okay, something that I actually think is pretty cool about this fit is the subtle nod to the color scheme of both organizations of which he's played for. The suit he's wearing has a little bit of red for the Falcons in the plaid pattern, tied together with a navy blue undershirt for the Broncos.
Okay, when you put it that way, I guess maybe he did think of it. All right, another constant for this segment has become our guy Matthew Bergeron. Similar plaid vibes, holiday color scheme as Justin's fit. It is just a clean, well-executed look. No notes.
Okay, while Justin's fit felt a bit more streetwear and trendy, Berg's fit is very dapper. The man has elevated the suit game this season, and Kelly and I are giving him all the gold stars for it.
Indeed. Finally, Kaderil Hodge with a simple look, but styled as always. He always is just so styled and put together. I'm obsessed with the coat because when you see it up close with the detail, it's like fuzzy. It looks really soft, a coatigan, if you will.
Oh, Kelly, I think you might be onto something here because I saw this coat in person and the short hair fluff of the fabric was very intriguing up close. Also, I just love a long coat moment in general. I need it to cool down more in Atlanta so that I can break mine out.
Yes. Well, still to come, not sure what to put on your Christmas list besides that coat, obviously, or do you need a perfect gift for the Falcon fan in your life? I got you. We'll go in the nest this week at the team store later in the show.
And how some Atlanta Falcons gave back this Thanksgiving week. More on that is coming up next on Rise Up Tonight.
Rise Up Tonight is presented by AT&T and brought to you by Georgia Lottery. Today could be the day. By Mercedes-Benz, the best of nothing. And by Home Depot, how doers get more done. Falcons fans, do you ever wonder what's really on your favorite player's mind? It's time for Question of the Week, brought to you by Zaxby's, famous fingers and sauces.
What is your favorite Thanksgiving food?
I'd have to go honey baked ham.
Ooh, specifically the honey baked ham. I like the product placement.
You never really have it unless it's Thanksgiving.
Best Thanksgiving food, you gotta go turkey. Oh wow, we had a discussion about this the other day in the tight end room actually.
Talk about many, if you have many favorites.
Yeah, I have many.
Look at here! Look!
Yeah, I'm a big soul food guy.
I got beans, greens, potatoes, tomatoes, lamb, rams, hogs, dogs, chicken, turkeys, rabbits, you name it!
Like I'm making my plate, I gotta have it.
Either.
I gotta have macaroni and cheese.
Yep.
I don't eat pork, but ham is the only time I'm gonna eat ham like that, eat pork. I gotta have those. So everything else is kind of like, okay, I'm gonna eat it, but those two are a must.
Bombastic side eye. Criminal offensive side eye.
You gotta know how to make the greens, the chicken. I'm not a big turkey guy unless it's, I'm not a big turkey guy. I love ham. Yams with the mac, they have to touch, for sure. Pumpkin pie, you know, all that stuff, so yeah. Desserts, the peach cobbler, big pound cake. God know how to make pound cake, by the way. It's probably the best in the city. Yeah, bold statement, but I can back it up for sure.
Charlie Warner would be a pumpkin pie guy.
He would.
That was very obvious. And I like the visual of Ray Ray at the kids' table.
Yes, I also, this has become my favorite segment. It just makes me laugh. I never see it until we show it. It makes me laugh every time.
It's the best. Shout out to our producer, Raphael, who does a great job with those. Well, just like Thanksgiving is an opportunity for some of us to take stock of all the things we are grateful for in our lives, the bye week came at a critical moment for the Falcons to recover, reset, and they hope recalibrate. There's a lot to reevaluate. But you know, Tori, there are only so many things you can fix on a to-do list in one bye week. Yeah. And you wrote about what they can maybe prioritize going into this week 13. What's realistic on that front?
All right, 3 things. Number 1, penalties. And I know we've already talked about that, so I'm going to just pass right over that. 2 is health, which is a given because a lot of these injuries the Falcons were dealing with 2 weeks ago should be well on their way to healing by this point. And 3, effort. Now, this is the one that I think matters the most, but is the most difficult to quantify. Raheem Morris said after the loss to the Broncos that the Falcons were out-efforted in Denver. That's not a usual marker of this team, which is why I think it is something that, along with penalties and health, is fixable in a bye week's worth of time. Get back to your fighting ways, Atlanta, and I think you'll be okay.
That's a good to-do list to focus on. Well, during this holiday week, all across the A number of different Falcons made sure those less fortunate got a chance to chow down on some of those Thanksgiving favorites we heard them talk about a few minutes ago. Mary Alex Anders has that story as we rise up for Atlanta, brought to you by Truist.
Thousands of men, women, and children are currently experiencing homelessness in Atlanta. Each individual has a story as to how their situation came to be. But there's one thing for certain. Everyone deserves a home-cooked meal on Thanksgiving. For 8 years running, Grady Jarrett has been committed to helping those battling homelessness through his annual Thanksgiving dinner. In partnership with Atlanta Mission, 300 men were served a full-course meal and a fun time. But there's one thing these men appreciated more than the delicious food, and that was simply being acknowledged.
What a powerful opportunity to many of the men who don't have family living in Metro Atlanta or anywhere nearby, and this is their only home. So to have people from the community like the Falcons, like Grady Jarrett, come out and say, hey, you matter, you're special, and we want to invest in you, that just speaks volumes to their self-worth, who they are, and encourages them along their journey.
We don't get this very often. We don't get people that come here and do this out of the kindness of their heart. I've been a Falcons fan since 2008. I respect Grady Jarrett. I love Grady Jarrett. He's one of my favorite defensive linemen. The fact that he was here, took a picture, shook his hand, met his mom even, it's just a great experience.
But the feast and the fun didn't end with Grady Jarrett. The Atlanta Falcons have spent this entire week giving back to different Atlanta Mission locations. Now I'm over here where the special teams players are here serving some pretty special ladies.
We're so fortunate that to be able to do something like this and to give back to the local Atlanta community is just truly a blessing, honestly.
These specialists spent hours serving meals to over 250 women and children who have come from situations of homelessness, domestic violence, addiction, and more.
800 men, women, and children across our campuses that we're engaging with simple services, anything from shelter, food, clothing, the basic essentials, security, a safe place to be, but also other things. We take it a step further with counseling services and classes, job vocational programs that kind of either end that cycle of homelessness in their life or to help them back in that journey.
They love to have a good time, and no matter what their circumstances are, they still have joy in their lives. And we're just out here trying to spread that joy, and they really spread it to us a lot of times more than we spread it to them.
Absolutely love to see that. Well, on the other side of the break, we take you in the nest at the Falcons team store to check out what deals they've got going on for Black Friday tomorrow and the rest of this holiday season. Stay with us. More Rise Up Tonight is just ahead.
Welcome back to Rise Up Tonight. Let's head in the nest with Kelly, Tori, and this week's special guest, brought to you by Mercedes-Benz.
Well, in the nest this week, we are on location at the team store at Atlantic Station for the Atlanta Falcons. Obviously, some of the fun jerseys that you see here, but we're going to talk about Black Friday. I'm here with the Senior Director of Retail for AMBSE, Nisha Schmidt. Tell me about some of the deals that you guys have coming up, because I think we also have some awesome stuff here that's going to be on sale for Black Friday as well.
Yes, we will actually have 20% off the entire store. It will have to be regular price merchandise. Actually, jerseys are excluded from this sale, but we're really excited about what we have to offer.
So what are some of the things here that people can come and check out either in person or even online?
Yes, so right here we have a lot of our men's merchandise. We're actually promoting a lot of our throwback collection, which has been really popular with the fans right now.
Yeah, we love that.
Yes, and also, our headwear is actually on sale as well, so we're really excited to, provide this 20% off sale for our avid fans.
Is there any new stuff that you guys have coming out for the kind of the Christmas season?
Yes, so actually, I can't really talk about it right now, but at the game this weekend, we are doing a local collaboration.
Oh, wow.
So make sure you follow Falcons Fits on Instagram, and you'll be able to find out about that.
So you mentioned the headwear. I know we've got a whole wall of awesome hats here. There's women's hats, there's men's hats. What are some fun things that maybe you've seen fans gravitate towards on this wall?
Yeah, so actually we have a lot of things that you actually see on the sideline. And then we have some of our fun patterns that we have for women. So we've got some of these from New Era and 47 brand. So we're really excited to kind of bring this to our fans as well.
I love these patterned ones and the green. Those are super unique. Those are great gifts. We're actually going to talk a little bit about some more gift options as well, and some more fun gifts in addition to the headwear that we just talked about. There's all kinds of chains, fun stocking stuffers here on this kind of back wall of the team store. Talk about some of the options here for fans.
Yeah, so our fan chains are actually one of the most purchased items that we have right now, and then we're also having a lot of our team ornaments and koozies and things like that, so perfect for your holiday gifts.
Yeah, those are, I love all the little ornaments, little Santa riding a football. These are awesome gifts for fans. So obviously, these are all physically in the team store. I'm sure all these deals are also online for fans, but how do you also come to this store, kind of browse and get your hands on some of this stuff?
Yes, definitely. So you'd want to come down to Atlantic Station. Our hours are from 11 to 7 p.m. and you'll want to make sure that you park at Stairwell 12, and parking is free for 2 hours.
That's awesome. So do you have any other upcoming deals throughout this kind of Christmas season that fans should be kind of aware of or put on their calendars?
Yes, so for Cyber Monday on shop.atlantafalcons.com, we have up to 65% off the entire website. So we're really excited about that.
That's a pretty good deal. Nisha Schmidt, she is the Senior Director of Retail for AMBSC. Come down to the team store, check out some of this awesome stuff, or online. I mean, that sounds like a great deal as well. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
We'll be right back on Rise Up Tonight.
Hey Atlanta, this is Head Crack talking, and you watching Rise Up Tonight, presented by AT&T.
My teammate used to say, walk into your trap, take over your trap.
You like that? I feel like
And they were playing that song about you swag and surf, and the whole stadium was moving. And I looked around, I was like, this is pretty sweet.
And this week, instead of walking into a trap, they're hoping to protect their trap as the Chargers come in.
And it's Kirk.
Yeah.
Missed that.
Yeah. For another week, it's like, I feel like we really shouldn't be giving this chain to anyone, but in the spirit of being grateful for what we've got, let's give thanks for Younghoe Koo, rebounding after a loud week of criticism following that loss in New Orleans. Not only does he nail a 51-yarder in Denver, he was responsible for all 6 of Atlanta's points on that scoreboard in that game. It's not a lot, but we salute you, Koo.
Yeah, I think we all needed a reminder about who Younghoe Koo is for this organization. And maybe, honestly, he needed a reminder too. Who knows? All I know is that I, along with all of you at home, I'm sure want to see that Koo out there more times than not.
That's fair. And if you're keeping track at home, Koo's 6 field goals of 50 or more yards tied for 5th in the NFL. So let's look to Sunday. Chargers rolling in to the Benz on a cross-country flight on a short week. Tough loss to Baltimore on Monday night. The Chargers are 1-4 against teams that are 500 or better, 6-0 against teams under 500. And like the Falcons, they're really trying to make a push into the playoffs. LA has Justin Herbert, as we know, plus a guy Georgia fans know very well in Ladd McConkey.
There he is.
J.K. Dobbins likely not to play on Sunday, but Tori, how can Atlanta's defense kind of prevent Herbert from tearing them apart like a turkey drumstick this weekend?
You mean like what I'm going to do to the turkey drumstick? Yeah. So like everything we have previously said, it starts up front. If the Falcons front isn't affecting Justin Herbert, he has the capability to make the positive plays happen consistently. And if he has all the time in the pocket, he'll connect, because he's not been prone to making a lot of mistakes this year.
Yeah.
He's thrown 1 interception in 11 games. Yes. 1 interception.
Wow.
He can pick apart this defense if they let him. It's going to be a big, big game for this crew.
And I think the response is such a big part of this. What's kind of been the vibe with guys coming back from the bye this week? Like, what have you been feeling from guys?
That they're well rested. And I think that was something that going in they needed. There were a lot of guys dealing with injuries. I think Raheem Morris said earlier in the week that they do feel like they're going to get some guys back a lot healthier, get some starters back, and that'll be a really, really important move, because you saw what happened in Denver. It wasn't good.
Yeah, that injury report was like a CVS receipt, I think, Taryn, from your
That
team
is exactly
tweeted that,
what,
and that was excellent, so it was true. Well, Tori and I are thankful for all of y'all taking that midday post-Thanksgiving dinner nap, rallying to stay up with us on Rise Up Tonight. Happy Thanksgiving, fam. We'll see you next week. Good night.